Welcome to our Mitzvah Shabbos program. By Hashgacha Protiyas, by divine providence, the Kinus HaShluchim is going to be Mitzvah Hashem next week, the end of Pasha Toles, the beginning of Pasha Vayetze. And by Hashgacha Protiyas, the end of the Pasha Toles speaks about Shlichus. It says, Vayishlach Yitzchok as Yaakov, Yitzchok sent Yaakov for Shlichus. And then it says in the other parsha, Vayetze Yaakov, and Yaakov went on his Shlichus. Maisei Ovois Simon Lebonim. The deeds of our fathers is a sign for the children. And this is a lesson that Rebbe writes in a letter, the early years in 1951, I think, a letter. The Rebbe says that the Nossi Hadoir, he called the Frierdiker Rebbe, the Nossi Hadoir, and his name is Yitzchok, Yosef Yitzchok. So he sends Yidden to Yaakov, he sends to Shlichus to do in Afotzas HaMayonis, to be Mashpia and Yidden, Begashmiyas, Uveruchnias, with goodness and kindness. And the Rebbe sends Yidden to where Charoin Af Shalolam, Vayetze Yaakov Miber Shova, Vayelech Choron No. Charoin Af not in a holy place, in places that they need, and there's no Kedusha there. And he sends them and for Shlichus. And the Rebbe gives brachas, and the Rebbe gives keiches, and that's how the Shluchim are matzliach, because of the Rebbe's brachas and the Rebbe's keiches. So just like Biklos in general shlichus, every Yid, the Rebbe says, is a shaliach. Every Yid is a shaliach of the Eibishter. The Eibishter is the Mishaleach. The Eibishter sends down a neshama, a soul, here in a goof, in a body, in a physical goof, in Olam Hazeh HaGashmi, Meigra Romal Bira Mikto, to do what? To make a Dira Lo Yizbarich B'Tachtainim, to make a dwelling place in this world. And the Yerida Tzorech Aliyah, the descent is in order to ascend. And this is the purpose of the shlichus of every single Eid, is a shliach of the Eibishter. And the Eibishter sends down here, how are people Mekayim fulfill the shlichus? By doing Torah mitzvahs. When a Yid is here and he makes a dwelling place here, Nisava Kodesh Baruch Hu Liz Ledir Betachtoinim, so we fulfill the shlichus of the Mishaleach. But it has to be Shliach Shal Adam K'moisoi. The Shliach has to be like the Mishaleach. Meaning, the Rebbe says, that just like Mahu Rachum, the Eibishter Rachum, we have to be Rachum. The Eibishter puts on film, we put on film. We have to do K'moisoi, as I will explain maybe another time. Rabbi Chanukah once said what it means, Shliach Shalodam K'moisoi. So this is the shlichus of every single Eid in this world. Now I want to share with you a letter someone wrote to the Rebbe, and all these years I couldn't find the answer. I have the question, but I couldn't find the answer. So, a couple months ago, I found the answer. But all these years, because I couldn't find the answer, I thought I would show it to a shliach, the question, let me see what he answers. So I went to Rabbi Korf, Rabbi Avremel Korf. He should have a refuah shleima, the Korf Mamish. I think he's a Rebbe's shliach. And I showed him the question. I said, I can't find the Rebbe's answer. Let me hear what you have to say about the question that he wrote. What was the question? The question was, can a shliach have also another job? You know, you have shluchim, Can they have another job? This was the question. So let me tell you first what Rabbi Korf answered me. Then I went to Rabbi Chadakov. I told him what the answer. Rabbi Chadakov liked the answer. But later I'm going to read part of a letter that I found what the Rebbe answered. Rabbi Korf said like this: every chassid is a shaliach of the Rebbe. Every chassid wants to do the ratzain, the will of the Rebbe. And when the Rebbe speaks by Fabrengen about Hafotas Hamayonis, about doing shlichus, the Rebbe doesn't just speak to shluchim. The Rebbe speaks to everybody. So why are some people called shluchim and some people are not called shluchim? So he says, a shaliach means 24 hours a day. He is a shaliach. But when a person has another job, that's fine. But he cannot be called a shaliach. Because it's not a 24 hour. A shaliach means 24 hours is an übergegeben, he told me. He's given over to the Rebbe completely, 24 hours a day. So this is what he says. A shaliach, since he's busy 24 hours a day, and he says, when he goes on vacation, he's a shaliach. When he sleeps like a shaliach. When he eats like a shaliach. When he walks like a shaliach. When he talks to people like a shaliach. Everything by him is shaliach shalodam kamaisei. That's called a shaliach. If a person has another job or involved in other things, he cannot be called a shaliach. That's why the kiddus hashluchim. Why shluchim? A lot of people do the work, but shluchim means that they are ibergegeben. Shliach shal odom k'moisoi, like the Rebbe. And he said over here that a chassid is everybody has priorities. A shliach is a person that his priority is Rebbe. Everything by him is Rebbe. This is what he mentioned. Anyways, so this is what I wanted to mention. Now, I found here a letter from the Rebbe, what the Rebbe says about a shliach. Now let me tell you what I found here. Okay, here's the letter that I found like a couple months ago. It's a long letter, 2-page letter, and that was the same question that this person asked. Let me just read one paragraph what the Rebbe said. There is general consideration. If one is to have the fullest impact and influence in matters of spreading Yiddishkeit or shlichus, one must be entirely free from any possible suspicion. However far-fetched that one has some material gain in mind, such suspicion would be difficult to avoid if Lubavitch activities were related also to some financial activities, even for the purpose of funding the spiritual activities which are so vital. This point becomes more witty in view of the fact that Lubavitch devotes so much time and effort to involve also Jews whose life in the past has been devoid of spiritual and religious activity. It would be hard to approach such a Jew and tell him that we are concerned only about his soul and spiritual life, while conducting business on the side. This is only one paragraph. There's no time to read the whole letter. But basically the Nekuda is here, and then the Rebbe says about Yisachar and Zvulun, a shliach has to be a Yisachar. And if a shliach has another job or another business or even a fundraising that to have is involved, so then the Rebbe, it's a shaila over here. So this is basically the answer of this person that he says, can a shliach have another job? Now here I want to mention one more thing. And this is, I have over here, this is from Rabbi Chadakov, really, that he wrote a few lines over here, and he gave it to Rabbi Mindel, I guess. That's how I have it here. In Shlichus, this he wrote in Tovshim Mem Zayin, I think Memches, the beginning of the Kinus. There are shluchim that have a big schus. They were picked by the Rebbe. Now, 50 years of the Rebbe's Nesius, not too many shluchim were picked by the Rebbe himself. That means the Rebbe called him over, or the Rebbe said to Rabbi Chadakov that he wants, or to this and this person to go in a certain city. This is a big schus, and not too many, maybe 20 people, maybe 30 people, maybe more, maybe a little less, but that's it. So a shliach, the schus of that shliach is amazing. The Rebbe picked him. I'll give you a mashal. There used to be Rabbi Binyamin Garadetsky of Hasholem. The Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe, picked him to go to be in Europe. Or Rabbi Shmuel David Reichik, or I think Rabbi Yashimendel Garelik also, Leibel Raskin, Nissen Pinson, Sholem Posner, Rabbi Groner in Australia. The Rebbe picked him to go. He wanted him to go. This is a big schus that the Rebbe himself, and they were called the Rebbe's mention. Just like in Maskirus, you have a lot of secretaries. You have Rabbi Chadakov, you have Rabbi Groner, you have Rabbi Simpson, you have there was Rabbi Rav Rothstein, there's Rabbi Krinsky, Rabbi Klein. But Rabbi Chadakov and Rabbi Mindel were picked by the Rebbe. The Rebbe wanted bedafke them. The other ones became maskirim. They are part of maskiris, but they somehow became a maskiris, and the Rebbe said, "Okay, it's fine." But they were not picked by the Rebbe. I know Rabbi Groner, I'm not sure, but Rabbi Mindel and Rabbi Chadakov for sure. So, in other words, this is one madrege of shluchim. Then Rabbi Chadakov says, shluchim wrote to the Rebbe. They went into, let's say, Pennsylvania, Michigan, whatever, and they thought about it. They looked into it, and they wrote to the Rebbe that this is what they looked into, if they should go or they shouldn't go. And the Rebbe answered them, yes. The Rebbe gave him a bracha. So they're shluchim. But they were not picked by the Rebbe. But they're shluchim, for sure. But they were not picked by the Rebbe. The Rebbe didn't call him over and said, go. That's another thing. And by the way, some people wrote to the Rebbe, and I have here letters that people wrote to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe said not to go bichlal. And you know what the Rebbe answered? Vos artaich zu leben mir? What do you care to live next to me? Maybe this is their shlichus. How about a lot of shluchim? You know, the Rebbe spoke one Shabbos like very much about going to shlichus. So there was a lot of letters that people wrote, and the Rebbe said no. But these people that the Rebbe said yes, so they're shluchim. But they were not picked by the Rebbe. The Rebbe, they are shluchim because the Rebbe gave him a bracha. Now there are shluchim, he writes, that They didn't look into, they wrote, I guess they opened up a map, they wrote 10 places, or 10 countries, or 10 places that they want to go. And the Rebbe circled around and says, Atzkal Tzayin. So they're called Shluchim. Because the Rebbe gave him a bracha. Anybody the Rebbe gives a bracha is called a shaliach. This is how Rabbi Chadakov writes, but there's difference. If the Rebbe called somebody or not. Now, the shluchim that are after Gimel Tammuz, he didn't write Rabbi Chadakov anything. I don't have nothing. But how are they shluchim? Because shliach is a shliach. The Rebbe said a shliach can make another shliach. But that's a big responsibility. First of all, because number one, that shliach that sends has to be a real shliach. Shliach shalodem k'moisei. If he sends, it's like the Rebbe sending after Gimel Tammuz. And the shliach cannot have side motives. When he sends a shliach, he can't say, "Oh, I'm sending him because of a reason I like him." He has to know that this is the shliach. Has to be 100%. That's not an easy thing. And it's a big responsibility because he's sending the shliach. That means it's the same as the Rebbe sent. So these shluchim that are after Gimel Tammuz are called shluchim because shliach is a shliach. But it's a big responsibility because the Rebbe didn't physically answer. And when the Rebbe was here, the Rebbe, even some people said no. But he cannot say no or yes. He has to himself, if he's a real emes or shliach, he has to himself figure out what would the Rebbe say, no other motives. Then the shluchim are called regular shluchim. And it has to be kumoisoi, as Rabbi Chadakov stressed. Now, in Mitzvah Hashem, next week, by the Kinus HaShluchim, next week in Motzei Shabbos, I will share with you something that Rabbi Chadakov said to Rabbi Mindel in Tov Shemem Zayin B'Negei Shlichus. Mitzvah next week, we'll continue our weekly program. Thank you.